With the old school LAN party a thing of the past and my nostalgic brain itching for some fun with friends, I invited the Paisan over so we could try New World together. I'm breaking this first impressions video into a few different parts, so feel free to skip around a little bit. Let's start off by talking about New World's graphics. They were pretty damn good. It reminded me of The Witcher 3 met Destiny 2 and had a baby with Horizon Zero Dawn. Paisan and I always judge games by their water graphics. I thoroughly enjoyed the graphics and I was pulling off 60 FPS no problem, with the lag and all. Number 2, let's get into the story. Let's chat about the intro story for a minute. It is very flat, to say the least. It's flatter than a dwarf's nose, but I did really appreciate that majority of the NPCs are voice acted. In terms of story, there isn't much to grab onto here. I love the whole New World frontier vibe that I get with crafting gear for yourself right away on the beach as your first quest. The initial UI layout was pretty fantastic and one of the most organized I've seen in any video game, not just in MMORPGs. This really helped me focus on the game and not fumble through the interface to figure things out for an hour. And yeah, I'm looking at you, Guild Wars 2. It took me a long time to understand the user interface in your game. Your character is given a max weight to carry things with the ability to dismantle them on the fly for money. I feel like this feature is really good because it adds in that sense of other RPGs like Skyrim, maybe Assassin's Creed, where you could dismantle things on the go. You don't have to run back to the town when your bag gets packed up. You don't have to hire a retainer or some NPC to hold your stuff or a pet or whatever it may be. It simply makes the game feel more real, like you're the only person who can carry this stuff. Now, the world and the environment. I don't believe there are mounts in this game, and that's okay for me so far. Currently, I'm still in the beginning area and I'm only level 15. And for a cheap MMO with no monthly subscription, I feel like they give you a lot for what you pay for. Currently, the combat reminds me of Dragon Age Origins because you need to aim spells in order to connect big damage. If you're shooting a gun, you have a reticle on your screen, kind of like Fortnite almost, where you need to specifically aim on the target. There were some glitches in some areas, like if I was on top of a ship shooting down at an enemy, it wouldn't hit it, like, you know, the tracking seemed off or something. So there were some minor glitches there. I thought the ice gauntlets had a little glitch. Sometimes I would like put it on and then it just would disappear. I wouldn't know where it went. So I think they're working on those bugs and stuff like that, and they definitely have the deep pockets to do so. I appreciate the break from your normal tab targeting MMORPG gameplay. The game played more like a third-person action adventure game, which I thought brought a nice fresh perspective to this genre. Instead of choosing a class like other MMORPGs, New World is weapon-based and more like Call of Duty because your character's strengths are the best for whatever weapon that you level up. So each weapon has a very extensive skill tree which unlocks different abilities along with your adventure. Like for example, the fire staff unlocks a fireball eventually, and that's pretty cool. You can choose like how you want your character to play out, and I'm sure at endgame there might be like a very like best way or a tier list of what weapons do certain things the best. The more I progress in the game, the more I would come out with that type of content. It makes me feel like I'm playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla rather than World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy XIV. This isn't New World's strongest attribute so far, but I appreciate how easy it is to level up and gain new gear now. Within the first hour of playing, I had access to every weapon type the game offers, which is pretty cool. Personally, if I'm not able to try out different classes with different abilities, I like to have the chance to try out all the different skills that the game has to offer in the beginning. Even though I can't try the most advanced skill tree for that weapon, you can get a sense of how the basic attack works for each weapon in the beginning of the game. The community. The player community in New World is one of the main parts of this game. The towns are taken over and controlled by guilds. I think this feature in the game is pretty damn cool. Other MMOs have designed instances areas for housing, but New World creates towns with houses in them scattered across Aeternum that makes your housing experience feel very personal and custom. Maybe your choice of choosing what town you live in is important because of taxes or the type of house that you buy, and I have yet to discover this, and I'm really interested in this feature. The player community and the social aspect overall is very grindy. I first started off New World on a fresh start server the exact day that they were released. So as you can imagine, things were a bit crowded. It was a little laggy. I stayed in a 100-person queue my first time logging in because I logged in on November 2nd in the evening. And it was a very different experience, and it reminded me of when World of Warcraft new expansion just launched, that type of vibe. You know, everybody was like, okay, come on, let's all go here. Let's, you know, I need a healer, need a tank, needed this, needed that. It seemed like I was playing with a bunch of experienced players and I wasn't playing with other like new players, you know, like obviously this is supposed to be a new server and a fresh start so people can, you know, go and take over the towns, and they've changed that dynamic a little bit, I've heard. I scrolled through Reddit a bunch about this topic and people seem very happy with the new fresh start servers. I'd like to know your opinion in the comments below. For me, it doesn't make a difference because I'm a new player overall, but I thought, you know, fresh start. May as well try to experience the game how it was when it first came out. In my opinion, New World brings new features to the MMORPG genre. Playing a mage in New World feels like I'm playing Dragon Age Inquisition again. Like the spells and the way you throw your staff is so snappy, and it makes me want to go back and play more and really level up my staff. For a game that's only been alive for 1 year, having an expansion under its belt and lots of community feedback to draw from, the big pockets of Amazon might be able to make this one of the best MMORPGs of our generation. I'm really happy I waited to try New World until this point because, quite frankly, I stayed away from it because the beginning had a crazy fall off of player base. I don't think any MMORPG is completely perfect. You know, it would be nice to draw some details from one to the other. I would love it if, you know, New World or Final Fantasy 14 had mounts like Guild Wars 2, and I wish the other MMORPGs had story like Final Fantasy integrated within it. I did really appreciate that all the NPCs so far in the questing in the beginning zone of New World were voice acted. I thought that was a really incredible choice on their part.
Our brave newcomer returns. I understand the Night Regent dispatched you to the mines.
And it made the story more engaging and made me want to listen to what they have to say, and I can't wait to go back and try some more. Personally, I enjoy just having other MMOs in my tool belt that don't have a subscription. New World and Final Fantasy are obviously very different games than World of Warcraft, and I think that fresh perspective on the genre is what's ruining World of Warcraft for me. I don't have any desire to go back and play World of Warcraft at this moment, unless maybe I see something once Dragonflight is released that will make me want to go back and try it out. Currently, that is not the case. Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't yet, I would appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. You'll get notified every time I release a new video. If you're interested, I do stream over on twitch.tv/Geegan. I'd love to see you there. With that being said, Paisans, I will see you in the next one. Peace.